Buckle up, and thanks for hopping on for the very first episode of E-Ticket Talk. This is your all-access audio and visual passport to the world of Disney parks, Disney Cruise Line, Adventures by Disney, and many more. Whether you're a Magic Key holder, a Castaway Club cruiser, or just mapping out your dream itinerary, you're in the right place. Each episode we'll be exploring the magic, the madness, and everything in between, from attraction breakdowns and resort reviews to bold opinions and trip planning tips. No lightning lane required, just a love for the parks and a willingness to go off script. E-Ticket Talk is brought to you by Effortless Expeditions, a Disney-centered travel agency here to help you plan your next Disney vacation. Contact us today for a free, no-obligation quote. Wherever the destination is, they make it truly effortless. Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Ethan Bronson, and I couldn't be more excited to launch this series with some amazing co-hosts. For today's debut episode, we're going to be diving into some of our most unpopular Disney parks opinions and a little bit of an explanation of what this is. The spiciness of the unpopular opinions that we'll have, you might agree with, or totally way. It's going to be a lot of fun today. So let's get into it.
What's going on, guys?
I'm joined by
First of all,
Wyatt.
I want to say thank you to the spirit of Walt Disney for blessing us with this podcast today.
Hey everyone,
Austin.
Hey everyone, I'm the reason they had to add the "Do Not Climb" sign to the Tree of Life.
And lastly, Brody.
Hello. I didn't think of anything. That's all I got.
Well, if you watch the content on the rest of your channel, you might recognize us from the Sacred Rewatch, which is a Marvel Cinematic Universe rewatch podcast. We're watching all of the Marvel content leading up to Avengers Doomsday. It's quite the task. We're breaking down every film every week, so make sure you tune in for that. That's coming out every Wednesday. So first, you were talking about Disney parks, Disney Cruise Line. Today's going to be a little bit more Disney parks. We've all been to the Disney parks many times throughout our lives, and I think we all agree that we wish we could get there more often than we do currently. But I wanted us to share what snack is your favorite. But it's not just your favorite. What favorite snack that you had to eat for the rest of your life every day?
No, I can't go first. I'm still thinking.
Wyatt, we'll start with you.
I need Austin to go first.
Okay, I have a great one. Okay, this one you can find in almost every single shop you go in, and the best part is they have their own shop too, just for this one snack. They have their own company for this one snack. I think you can even buy it outside the parks. Now this is the Goofy candy. It is so good.
I eat a bag of sour
Especially
worms
little
every
sour
trip.
worms.
Every day,
Okay.
every trip, bag of sour worms.
And they're so good. Yeah, they're so good. They're so good. Yes, they don't make you feel good afterwards, but man, am I sitting in the Hall of Presidents, munching on one of those in air conditioning? You couldn't tell me of a better day.
Well, which ones would you choose? Like, out of all the Goofy's Co. stuff.
It's got to be the sour worms now, or maybe or like the little balls. I don't know. The little circular.
Oh wow!
thing.
5 minutes in. Five minutes into the first episode, Austin.
What about the diabetes sticks where you just
Or the
fill them
giant-
with pure sugar?
Oh, yeah.
The
Those are
giant
crazy.
Those are
Slurpee cups that like
insane.
spiral, and you can't even drink the bottom half because your straw can't spiral down the whole cup.
Oh, yeah.
I've never heard of those. I've
Classics.
never heard of those.
I have mine.
All right.
I thought of it.
Who
What's
is
Austin?
next?
I'll go.
I can go.
All right. So Austin,
We'll let Wyatt go.
it's a good item, right? Everyone loves the Goofy candy, but you're lacking nutrition. And everyone knows the most nutritious thing they have at Disneyland and Disney World are Mickey waffles, right? Everyone loves Mickey waffles. You wake up in the morning at Pop Century. What do you want more than Mickey waffles first thing in the morning before you hop on a crowded bus to go wait 45 minutes in line in front of Magic Kingdom? Like, that's Disney right there. I can eat Mickey waffles are my go-to every day at Disneyland, Disney World, and I have them every day if I had to.
But like, how do you think of Mickey waffles? But like, how do you think of Mickey waffles when the waffle itself is colder than the syrup you
Okay,
put on it? That's
what do you
just
think
my-
of candy
My opinion there.
when you had it for breakfast and for lunch, and then you're gonna have it for dinner?
You bring up a good point. Brody, let's hear
I
it.
got mine. So if I had to eat this every day,
Oh,
I got to go with Ohana bread pudding.
Oh.
Because just if you're feeling morning, you just don't have to eat the ice cream. You know what I mean? You can portion this
Bananas?
out. It's sweet, it's good, it's filling. I could live off that for the rest of my life. Austin's cooked it too.
I actually
It's
feel
really
like
good.
out of all of like the sugary things that I could eat, I could probably have that every day because I do love a good sweet treat every day
There you go.
in some form. If I could have a bite of bread pudding every day.
he's dreaming of it.
It's good, dude.
All right, so I spent some time thinking about this one. Do I do something like that where it's just like a not a dirty pleasure?
What is
but
going on? A sweet
A sweet
treat.
treat. You just said it. It's a sweet
What's your
treat.
favorite Disney dirty pleasure,
No,
Ethan?
treat. A sweet tweet.
So I think if I had to eat this item every day, I would at least feel semi-healthy. It's the bacon wrapped asparagus at Bengal
I've never
Barbecue.
had it.
What a
Never had
crazy pull. Where did that come from?
It's
Dude.
so good.
I would get it every day just to eat it
$5?
and not think about the
Bengal
price.
Barbecue?
Yeah,
That's
there
the
you go.
place that Austin and I
That's
kept
the only
like,
reason.
walking for like 30 minutes trying to find that one night really late in Animal Kingdom, right?
No,
It's
it's
not
in
Animal Kingdom. It's at
Adventureland.
Disneyland in
It's Adventureland.
It's like to the left of the store.
Ponders where Bengal Barbecue is. I'm going to do a little explaining of what we're going to be doing on this podcast. So obviously today we're going to be talking about unpopular opinions of the Disney parks. But as many Disney podcasts do, they talk about news. I think we're going to try to refrain from that. We're trying to do something a little bit different. Everybody tells you the news, and to be honest, I don't know if we can do it better than them. They do a great job of getting it out in a timely and organized manner. But yeah, I think this is going to be more of an opinion-based podcast about the Disney parks. So today we're talking about one subject. We may do a series where we go through each land of a park, talk about pros and cons, and maybe even a little armchair Imagineering, which I know Wyatt is very excited for. If you're watching or you're listening and you have any thoughts, please feel free to give us any ideas in the comment section. We're always open to taking ideas. So with that, I think it'd be a good time to get into unpopular opinions. So I have a specific order. We're going to start with me. We're going to go through the table once and then through the table twice. We have 2 unpopular opinions per person. We're going to keep this episode, I think, on the shorter end. We'll see, though. With this group, you never really know. But to start, we are going to go to Big Thunder Mountain. So, what is the idea behind this? My unpopular opinion is that Big Thunder Mountain is not just overrated, it is severely overrated. Before I let you guys discuss, I don't think in Disneyland or Disney World, matter of the fact, this should be longer than a 15-minute wait. But I do have a reason for it. So in the last year, I've been to Disneyland Paris, and that thing puts every other Big Thunder Mountain to shame. Absolute shame. I would wait 45 minutes, which you often see Disneyland's Big Thunder Mountain in. But even before I went to Disneyland Paris, I wasn't a huge fan of Thunder Mountain. I'd much rather go ride the Mark Twain Riverboat. I'd rather ride on the canoes and on the
You rather ride on the canoes.
Rivers of America. That is my...
That's a little... Okay. Really? The canoes.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah. No, yeah. That is a hidden gem.
Dude, not the 30-minute loop.
Isn't
You gotta go all the way around the lake.
The canoes are a hidden
Big
gem.
Thunder Mountain's considered like the top tier rides
Well, I
when it
just
comes
think-
to Fast Genie Pluses, correct? Like it's one of your like... I can't remember what the tiers are. But
Yeah, isn't it one of
Well,
like the bigger ones?
yeah, like it was considered like the
With
big...
the old ticket system, yeah, it would be considered an e-ticket. Now, I mean, they don't really have like a name for it anymore. There are tiers, but there's no names for the tiers. Like, let's say I were to get a all-access lightning lane from Rise of the Resistance. That's about as top tier as you can get. That can use for anything. But let's say I get evacuated off of Star Tours, right? That only applies to Star Tours, Autopia, the Carousel. Maybe that's it, right? I'm just using that as
So this is an
example.
S tier? This is an S tier ticket?
I would say this is probably a D ticket. And just in terms of Lightning Lane, it is a thrill ride though, so... Oh, I am so sorry.
What are you doing there?
So I mean, it's up there, but it's not all the way up there. So that's my thought on Big Thunder Mountain. I mean, you guys think that's an
don't
unpopular
disagree
opinion?
whatsoever. I think Big Thunder Mountain kind of sucks. I think it's just kind of, it's so dated. I feel like it's so dated at this point. Like, it's very old.
Here's
and
my
clunky
thing.
And
I wanted to give, and I feel like you guys probably felt the same way. I wanted to give an unpopular opinion that felt authentic, right? I wanted to truly believe it. If I told you guys that my first unpopular opinion, that Living with the Land was the best ride in Epcot, that's very much a mainstream idea now, right? Everybody loves to say they love Living with the Land, but do they really mean it? So I'm not going to give you an opinion that everybody else feels the same way about. So
Yeah.
that is where I stand.
I just want to paint a picture here, okay? This is where I have seen Big Thunder Mountain at its peak and where I would wait in line for it. It's nighttime. The fireworks about to start. You hop on there. You get to see Galaxy's Edge all lit up. You get to see the fireworks. You get to ride a nice ride. I mean, it's a great ride. I don't know if I'd wait 45 minutes, but it's not bad.
I will say this.
It's not bad.
I don't think you
I'm a big
need
fan.
Big Thunder
I'm a
Mountain
big fan.
and Seven Dwarfs Mine Train in the same park.
That's an interesting way to look at it.
Like, they're the
especially
same
at Disney
land,
World.
but
those
they're
are in two different lands.
essentially the same. Both of the
Yeah.
Magic Kingdom. I don't know. I would never wait longer than 30 minutes for Big Thunder Mountain, and if this had the exact same wait time as Seven Dwarfs, I would always go to Seven Dwarfs.
Yeah, but I don't think that's necessarily saying anything about Big Thunder Mountain, because I think most people would say objectively
Well, they both
Seven
just the
Dwarfs
same-
Mine Train's a better ride.
But very much the same ride.
But, you know, this is a group of my friends and family, so we do kind of think the same, so maybe that statement alone may be an unpopular opinion to people listening.
I don't know. I think Big Thunder gets more of a thrill than Seven Dwarfs, just because you have more like the caves and stuff, like where you're like ducking below stuff, like that fake out where you go up for a second before the drop. You know that one where you always think you're gonna hit your head,
Yeah.
and like this spinning. Like, I think it's definitely. I like it more than Seven Dwarfs. I
That is
think.
my favorite part, is like the corkscrew effect.
Yeah.
But after you've ridden the Big Thunder Mountain in Disneyland Paris, I mean, it is
Sure. That one
borderline-
has animatronics, right?
I don't
Is
think
that the one with the
longer,
whole
it's-
flooded underneath thing, or is that
No.
different park?
No, I think that's a
Okay.
different park. But for the Disneyland Paris one, you actually go under their Rivers of America. I don't know if it's called Rivers of America, but their water area. You actually board outside of the river, and Big Thunder Mountain's an island. So you go under, and you go super fast. And I mean, you get similar G-forces to like Expedition Everest, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my opinion. If anybody else doesn't have other thoughts, we'll give the floor to Austin.
Okay, I'm excited for this one.
Okay. All right.
Hold on. Let me get the visual up first before you.
So this is probably more. I wanted to start off pretty slow. Okay, this is probably what a lot of people believe right now, or maybe not. I think I am in a position of my gender being that the Disney parks new merch is terrible. It is awful. It's all like directed towards like women, like all the Spirit jerseys. Like, I can't wear one of those. Like, I just think they're cool. Don't get me wrong, but look at the old merch. The old merch is sick. That's the one on the right, the 20th anniversary one. What are we on, the 70th anniversary of Disneyland? No, that's Disney World, but
No,
anyways.
70th.
70th? Okay. It's terrible. They lack creativity. It's like this generic, really. It's in Florida, okay? Why are you guys giving us the thickest jackets of all time? There's no shirts. You want me to sit there and sweat
I
all day?
guess.
I guess. And the Spirit jerseys are like $90. I understand that Disney's gotta make some money. They don't ever make any money. But I gotta get something out of it. And everything just has like the name brand on it. What happened to like all the like really subtle things? You know, maybe a little Mickey head on it. Like I'm wearing a polo right now. It's not made by Disney. You guys can't see it, but this is a Darth Vader polo. Like this is sick. Like really subtle things that like you're walking around and someone's like, oh, they go to Disney. Not, oh, it says Disneyland first trip. It's my birthday. Blah, blah, blah. You know, why can't we why can't we go back to the old stuff? It's just we need more like deep cut things.
Well, all right. This is my thought off of the Spirit jersey comment. I think some of the Spirit jerseys are creative. I'm not a huge fan of the actual type on the back.
That ice cream one's
like,
kind of
if
cool.
you look at that photo on the left, right? I know you use that as an example, but that one is cool, right? But I think what you're trying to get at, which I think is a deeper thought, is Disney Parks products, and Disney Parks products used to be specific for the store or land that you found it in. But now it's all just branded Disneyland Parks stuff. Like just simple. And I think an analogy for this, or perfect microcosm of this, big word, is when they changed the Disneyland bags and Disney World's bags. They used to be separate. The gift bags you used to get. They changed it to Disney Parks. They used to be separate bags. You used to get a Disneyland bag when you checked out of a store when you're in Disneyland. You used to get a Disney World bag when you checked out of another store. But now you just get the plain Disney Parks bag. That to me is cost cutting, and I don't like that.
So you're telling me I have all the bags from each land at Disney World. I have the Magic Kingdom, the Animal Kingdom.
Well, no. Those are like special tote bags that you can buy. You talking about like the cream one that's got like the red outline or the blue outline?
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about like the blue bag that says Disney Parks on it.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be specific to the park that you were in.
I guess when I got it, in the grand scheme of things, $2 was not that huge when you're
My
getting a $90 Spirit jersey.
Is like when you go to get merch at Disney, if you want anything outside of Disney Parks, you're not going to find anything. Like, I don't want to walk around with a shirt that says Disney Parks. I love Star Wars. I want a shirt that has New Hope on it, the cover of New Hope, my favorite Star Wars movie. But all I can ever find are Batuu shirts or Galaxy's Edge shirts. It's like they've kind of like forget everything outside of that exact park. You can't find any Marvel stuff outside of at like the Marvel Land. Yes.
Pause. This is a perfect example. So for the viewers out there, I actually did just take the shirt off a few minutes ago. I've got this very subtle Disney Parks merch. It's a Guardians of the Galaxy shirt, and it says World Tour or Galaxy Tour, and it's got all the different planets they went to.
Yeah, I want to find
like
more of that.
Is that what you're talking about?
It's like once in a blue
cool.
moon you find that. Like, I don't have it with me to show me, but you guys, Ethan and Austin, both saw that Temple of Doom hoodie or that pullover I got last trip. I was looking for a hoodie like that the whole trip, and all it is a simple Temple of Doom hoodie. But it was more of, yeah, and it's just like
we were there for 11 days.
You never see anything that wouldn't say Dial of Destiny, or it was named after their new ride too, which is the Forbidden Eye. So all their Indiana Jones merch is Indiana Jones the Forbidden Eye, or Indiana Jones and the Forbidden Dial, or whatever the new one was called.
Oh, the one that's
no, like the movie. Like there's plenty of merch for the movie, because when we were there, the movie had just come out.
Oh,
so I saw a ton of merch for like the Dial of Destiny, yeah. But yeah, it's very rare to me to find any merch at Disney that isn't very blatantly Disney Parks.
Yeah. For Star Wars stuff, the only stuff you find like that is the Her Universe stuff that you see at like Star Tours or something.
Mm-hmm. When I feel like Star Wars stuff specifically, it's kind of gotten weird because they're in this weird gray area where back in 2019, end of 2019, beginning of 2020, when Galaxy's Edge opened, they were full on just forcing the Galaxy's Edge, like, villager products, right? You could get a toy, like, that was all tattered, or you could get, this weird card game that nobody's explained to you how to play, but you can buy it,
Sabak.
But now they're getting back to more, Revenge of the Sith, 20th anniversary merch. Like, that's obviously movie specific. But even like when they did the stuff about the Star Tours jackets and that turquoise, I thought that was so cool because that was like the same jacket that the cast members wear, and you could buy.
I have that one. It's great. I barely got that one. But like, I think that's just a whole nother Star Wars problem too. If we're just narrowing in on Star Wars, like, the shows are coming out too quick and they're just not doing like products for them. So every time it's the same shirt that's just a rectangle of like the promotional image. Like, it's not even from the show because they make the shirt before the show comes out. So it's like just a promotional like image, and they'll do the same thing for all the shows. Because they just get like one T-shirt.
Yeah,
That's why we don't have a Star Wars podcast right now.
Why? Because the clothes?
No, just the Star Wars universe is complicated with release dates. At least Marvel and theme parks, there's something consistently talk about. Where right now we're obviously in a good prime time because we got Andor season 2.
Dude, Andor yesterday. Andor yesterday was amazing.
So maybe Brody can convince me to start a Star Wars podcast, but
dude, I guarantee
he might run the helm of that one.
I would absolutely. It was great. I could so do that. Any excuse to talk about Star Wars.
All right. We are moving on.
It's my turn.
Up to
Wyatt. Yeah. Oh, what are you looking at right here? He has no idea, right?
Here.
Okay, audio listeners. So, yeah.
Neither
so,
do Disney
audio
executives,
listeners, on my
clearly.
left, a picture of this beautiful Cinderella castle with a Mickey Mouse looking somewhat confused off in the distance to his right. And on the right, you see what the beauty of Epic Universe. Now, Epic Universe is Universal Studios' newest park. I love Disney. I've never been to Universal ever in my entire life. If you have seen even the slightest of anything from Epic Universe on TikTok or Instagram, it looks amazing. This entire park has like 6 different lands with all these crazy animatronics and all of these technologically insane rides. But what gets me about it is Universal Studios planned, announced, and constructed and opened all of Epic Universe in the exact less time than it took Disney to build Tron. Now, right?
Oh, that's insane.
It's insane.
That's actually insane.
What Disney needs to do, they're losing. They're
That's
losing
crazy.
the battle nowadays. I think they're going to start losing.
Do you think they're losing?
I think my hot take is that Disney needs to step it up in terms of not just the amount of rides we're getting, the advancements in the rides and the quality of these rides, and the amount of time it takes to go on these rides. I go to Disney World every 5 years. I shouldn't only have one new ride every these 5 years if I'm lucky. Right?
That is very valid.
Do you
extremely
think the
valid.
problem with some of this stuff is like them trying to do like large projects too much? Like they're doing like the new Monsters Inc. land. Do you think that since they're expanding that instead of not just doing the ride, do you think by doing the whole land they're just like slowing themselves
instead
down
of
tons?
expanding on the land?
Or like, what do you think's causing it?
I just think I really think it is, and obviously I don't work in business. I think
Well, I don't know. Like we know the land's gonna take forever.
They don't think they need to go that fast. Like I don't like they have no hustle to build Tron any faster than they did. Disney's always taken forever to build these rides.
Yeah.
Well,
Tron get really
I
messed
would
up.
say for the
I'm about to
Tron
say,
example,
maybe
COVID
take Tron
was
out
a
of it,
factor.
but still.
And the train.
But I don't think Tron. It's like, even though it did have COVID.
Yeah,
It was
of a ride
also
they had already
a
built.
replica
And Epic,
of what
they
they
were
had
going
already
to create
built in
all of Epic
Shanghai.
Universe. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I think if Disney wants to keep up with Universal nowadays, like they have just announced that all of that new stuff, correct? With that new Villains Park and all of their new things, we seen anything? Have we heard a single thing or seen anything after they said they were going to do it? I know you guys know a little more about the news in terms of park stuff.
The Americas land is moving because half of Dino Land is basically extinct at this point.
Yeah.
Chester's and Hester's is gone. Dinosaur is still operational, but the Americas is very much going on. The Monsters Inc. thing, that's an interesting example because you're saying like, oh, there's this like land. It's not even a land. It's like a mini expansion or a mini land because they'll have the ride and I think they'll have one restaurant and a shop.
Preview for my next hot take. I'm going to tear into that
land.
Park
I don't think so.
In a little bit. I hate that park.
Are you?
Okay.
All right, Wyatt, I have a new example for you. Instead of Tron, okay, we're going to take a new one. The process of retheming, not building, retheming Splash Mountain to Tiana's Bayou took 4 years.
Okay,
Epic
thank
Universe
you.
took 5
Thank
years
you.
to build from scratch.
It's just...
I think
Insane.
another clear issue with this stuff is I think Disney does the announcing first. And then they have to make the animatronics that look like they do in the concept art that they released. And they have to deal with all that. I think most of this stuff for this new park that you're talking about at Universal, I think they had prepped this before talking about it. Because the problem is Disney just like throws stuff out because they end up hitting these dates like D23 where they have to have a full board of announcements. You know what I mean? So they just end up saying stuff. But when you're saying like 25 projects, by the time they actually get finished, it's 4 or 6 years out. You know what I mean? Where I think with something like this, they're doing the smart thing, and they have it pre-planned. They have like people working on the stuff, and then they can just implement it in the next year. Where I think Disney just announces way too
100%.
early.
I think they just have to keep an...
Like Mary Poppins ride.
I remember
that?
Dude, whatever. There was a whole
They
thing
just
to
announced
walk
that and then
into
nothing.
in Epcot, and it showed you like the future of their entire park. And there was like a Mary Poppins ride, and there was this big Guardians expansion.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was this whole Guardians of the Galaxy expansion.
Preview center.
And there was like a whole Wreck-It Ralph thing.
No, I don't think the Wreck-It Ralph thing was
Okay.
ever official. That was just heavily rumored for a long time. And I mean,
I
it
think-
still is.
Well, what's the biggest... What is the
I mean,
Same
biggest
with them,
addition to a park? The most recent one on U.S. Disney parks. Is it Galaxy's Edge? Okay, yeah.
Star Wars.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, because they haven't made a new theme park. Disney hasn't made a new theme park domestically since 2001.
My unpopular opinion
Yeah.
is
California
that
Adventure.
Universal Studios is going to start
And I think
overtaking
they're also-
Disney if Disney doesn't show some sort of response to what I would consider an insane turnaround for this quality of a park.
Well, yeah, I think they are starting to fall behind because that's the whole reason they made Star Wars Land, is because of Harry Potter Land. You know what I mean? And then they saw that that worked, and now they're even falling back with Galaxy's Edge because, you know, basic Star Wars fans are like, your basic public audience doesn't know who Hondo Ohnaka is. So, like, when they're making these changes now, where they're like, okay, let's just put Mandalorian and Grogu in there. Because previously they were all held up with, oh, you're immersed.
Yeah.
But people
Two
didn't even know
sons.
what they were immersed in. They didn't know what Batu was, or any of that. So people still didn't feel immersed. So now they're adding people like meet and greets with Luke Skywalker and stuff. Because they're like, it doesn't really matter how this person's here. We don't have to make it make sense because people want to meet people from the movies. And that's the thing about that, is like, you can meet all the people from How to Train Your Dragon in this new land that they have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they're playing the
They're
people from the
embracing-
movies, not just a villager
always-
from...
Not said
Good
about
place.
Universal. I'm talking about Universal a lot, but I've only been to Universal Studios in Hollywood one time. But there's certain aspect to just embracing being IP land that is kind of enjoyable in a way in Universal. Like, not everything is hidden with these weird architectural designs and these weird colors, and not everything's so themed and so immersive. Like, there's a giant minion because I'm in Minions Land now. That's cool. Here's a ride where I'm talking to the character and I'm just going through the movie in a ride. Whereas in Disney, you have all this immersiveness that I think, like you just talked about, takes so many people out of it if you're not really understanding it all.
Yeah, and I think it's
So
gonna
if
cause
you like
like.
Toy Story Land, everyone loves Toy Story Land because
But
it's
it's gonna
literally
cause-
you see Big Buzz,
I hate
Big
Toy
Woody.
Story.
Not entirely
Yeah.
true though. I mean, there's a lot of takeaways for Toy Story Land because there is not
Yeah.
the subtlety of, specifically putting shade or seats. Like it's just
Yeah.
ride, nothing else. And Woody's
But we're-
lunchbox, of course.
I think
but-
we're also going to see like the downfall of a lot of this immersive stuff is they're going to be so much more of a pain to remove down the line. You know what I mean? Like, if people don't know what Monsters Inc. is as much 15 years from now, taking out this entire Monsters Inc. expansion or something, or if they want to redo Star Wars Land or Avatar Land, like instead of just replacing one ride in a small area, replacing these huge areas because a lot of them have wasted space, it's going to be a huge pain down the line. I think that's what
Yeah,
we're going to start
but-
seeing with these immersive lands.
I
Well,
don't think
maybe
you
they
can-
should.
Go ahead.
They should probably start. I don't know, not going 30 years back in history and then start IPing things with stuff that people are gonna figure about in 10 years. Monsters Inc.
Yeah.
Land. When did Monsters Inc. come out? Like 20 years ago?
Yeah, but take for example when Avatar or when Pandora was built, people questioned that heavily because it wasn't owned by
Yeah.
Disney. It came out several years before. Like I think when it released, like when it was Pandora built in like 2017, like when it opened, I think so. And the movie came out in 2009, so I would include that as a relatively recent project.
But they also like have plans for new movies, though. They don't have more plans for another Tiana or another Monsters
Well, they
Inc.
did. They did have plans for another Tiana show that was supposed to come out on Disney Plus.
No.
Because I think they actually had to change the ride a lot because it was. That's why she has like that slightly different artistic style in the animatronic. Because it's supposed to look different because she was going to have a show, and then they scrapped it.
Well,
Yeah.
All right. Well, Wyatt, thank you for that unpopular opinion. I think you're quite wrong. I think Disney's winning.
Sheep.
But I do have to say, some of the stuff that they're doing at Universal is pretty cool. All right, Wyatt. Or Brody, I'm so sorry.
Oh, this is like just like a preference thing. I like Millennium Falcon more than Rise of Resistance. It's just
Really?
that simple.
Dude,
It
I
doesn't
thought
break
about doing
down.
This is mine.
It's way quicker wait times. It's just
I don't believe it.
I ride Millennium Falcon 10 times a day in that park, and I will not even blink when I walk past Rise of Resistance. It's fun the first time, but it's super rhythmic. And I don't know, I understand Millennium Falcon is like the same ride over and over, but
Let
like
me
I
guess,
just
Bernie.
genuinely have a better
You
time
always get to be
with the queue
pilot?
and stuff. Instead of being in the tunnels,
We'll see. There we go.
of course. But I'm respectful that way, because because I go in the parks alone, and I could go in single rider, but I actually like wait in the normal line
That's fair.
to request pilot. So like it is a sacrifice that you got to make if you want to do that. But I don't know. It's
well,
never that
and,
long
like,
of
you
a
can
wait
also
time.
make Millennium Falcon more fun, right, Brody? Like if you're good at it, you like the ride's a little longer, right? You can get more of those crystals or more.
Well,
of the,
yeah. There's the asteroid
Coaxium.
field. I mean, in the stuff
coaxium.
that they're adding next year, I think I'm really interested to see how much that brings to it, because you get to choose
Oh, really?
what planet you're going to mid-mission.
Yeah, what
That's
is there,
kinda
like
cool.
4 different options?
Yes,
Wow.
there's Cloud City, the Death Star ruins, Death Star 2 ruins.
Tatooine.
There's Tatooine, and
Endor?
I don't know
See?
if it's the surface
That's exactly
of
what I
Endor.
want
I'd
more
have
of
to
from
check.
Disney.
But I don't know. I'm
Thank
super
you.
interested to see.
Thank you.
Well, it's just great because even Star Tours, they would do little updates too with the new movies, which
Well,
like
if you
I
look
think
at Millennium
should
Falcon
get
concept art when that came out, it was supposed to be way different than what it is now. I mean, it's
Yeah.
supposed basically going to what it's going to become is a version of what it was really supposed to be. Because what came out and what we have now is nothing like what we have. You were supposed to go to all these different planets, more of that, super in-depth storytelling, maybe planets you've never seen before or heard of. Even if you did watch Clone Wars or Rebels and all that stuff, like very deep cut stuff.
well, and that whole ride was built for Solo. The music that plays is from Solo Star Wars Story, the coaxium you steal. It was all built around Solo Star Wars Story, which, of course, that's probably why it's my favorite ride out of the two, but it'll be really interesting to see them change it, because obviously Mandalorian and Grogu have like a lot of pull within it's like the most general non-Star Wars, like can bring other people in that don't know Star Wars well. So I think it'll be really
disagree
interesting
with
to see
you,
what
Brody.
happens there. Yeah, it's Tatooine, Bespin, Endor, but like I said, I think you're just in space for Endor, and Coruscant. So like that's your prequel fan thing.
I disagree.
What were you gonna say, Wyatt?
I was gonna say this for mine, but then the more I thought about it, I'm with Ethan. It was really just reaction baiting on my part. It's a cool ride, but I think if it didn't take place in the Millennium Falcon, it would lose everything. Like so much to me, but it does.
But it does.
But it does. So much of this ride, so much of the joy of this ride is when you
Right?
get in that
Like-
final queue area and you're just standing in the Millennium Falcon. Like it's just so cool. And then you sit in the cockpit and you're driving the Millennium Falcon. What's not to love? But if to say it's better than Rise of the, I would say it's better than a lot of people think it is. It's definitely a fun ride. But to say it's better than Rise of the Resistance,
Well, I don't think it's better. I just prefer it.
okay. Well then I actually
I don't think it's like
argue
more
with that.
advanced or anything.
I can't.
I just do prefer
I can't
it.
diss
This
on
may
another
be
man.
an
I get it.
unpopular opinion in itself, but I think I prefer. I think I prefer.
I know. I just wanted to
actually,
clarify.
I think the queue of Millennium Falcon is better
Yeah,
than the ride itself.
I think it's a better queue than Rise of Resistance queue as well.
I mean, yeah.
I got verbally
Definitely
they'll
just the
yell at you.
tunnels, the tunnel rooms, the
They
cave
was kicking me
rooms.
off the ride.
They were gonna kick Wyatt off of the
Can I
ride.
tell you a
Wait,
story
wait,
about
why
my-
don't you tell
my
a story?
nightmare experience in the Rise of Resistance queue?
Yeah.
Okay. So this was not our first time going on it, correct? Because you two were both there with me.
It was towards the beginning. It was. No, it was. It was the.
Okay.
The land had probably been open for.
It may
3
have not been our
months.
first time
This
going
was
on it, but
March
it was our
2020.
first time open for our trip. I think we'd gone on it before that trip. Okay, well, whatever. So I get off the ride, Rise of
No.
Resistance. For those of you who haven't been on it, you fly up on this ship up to some Star Destroyer boarding thing, and you get out, and you walk into this huge room with all of these stormtroopers in this huge space backdrop. Maybe Ethan can throw a picture up or something, but it's awesome. Like it's so cool, and every Star Wars fan's dream is just to take a picture of that. But what you have is you have these tryhards dressed in Imperial officer uniforms just berating you the whole time. Like, I get it, it's part of the experience, these are the bad guys, ha ha ha, but it's like, hey loser, get moving, fatty, what are you doing standing there, man? Get going. And they're just staring at you.
It might have been.
And you're taking a picture with your mom, and they're like, hey, get going, get along, prisoner. Whatever. And then they throw you in these, and I'm gonna give them a little shit. Like, they're throwing you, like, stand in line, and I'm like standing out of line, whatever. And they have all these fake buttons on the wall, and I'm hitting these fake buttons because, I got ADD. I'm gonna hit buttons.
Well, yeah, they made.
You put a button, you put fake buttons on the wall. I'm gonna
want.
queue for 3 hours. I'm gonna hit it, right? But right next to the fake buttons, they have their control panels for the ride. For the fake button, very important real button. And I'm hitting this fake button, and I do this. I look at the real one. I don't even touch. I look at it. I go, hey, don't touch that button. I'm so sorry. I will kick you out of this park. I'm sorry. I didn't know it was. I'm not joking around. I will remove you from this park right now. I'm sorry. I didn't know. And then I get back in line.
Park,
and I'm
we're
like,
in space.
I don't like this ride. I don't like this. I don't care. I don't care about Finn anymore or the AT-AT. I actually just want to leave. I don't like it. And ever since then, I hate it. I just people
might
make me
have just,
so
like-
mad. Like they're
I
just
might
yelling
have
at
just
me.
a shutout
Don't
memory
put your real
of
buttons
getting
next to
yelled
your
at,
fake
and that's why I
buttons,
don't like
Walt.
Rise Resistance.
That big of a deal.
Well,
You were there, so you have
I
eyewitness.
think-
You can
I
give
think experiences
you can give your
like that.
witness
We
a
obviously
testament.
didn't. I know. I do agree. It was a very hostile attack. But we didn't complain about the experience because I embraced it. I loved that whole experience of watching it happen, even though I didn't encourage him to touch the button. I do agree.
It's
The
like
buttons
blinking
looked
red.
very
It's
similar,
like, dude.
but I think other people complained about experiences like that, and I think we can all agree
that is
they've
100%.
definitely
For
toned it
everyone
down a
who
lot.
listens to this podcast, almost every story I tell from Disney World, Ethan and Austin are going to be there for the same story. For our first time going compared to the last time we went, it was very different. I got a couple of them to crack smiles the last time. But like, I was scared the first time.
All right. Well, Brody, thank you for that. We are going... I think we're back around the table. Everybody's gotten their first one. So now, we're up for mine. So the first one was a little bit slower, easier of a take. This one... I'm going to give a little backstory. So, we used to have FastPass. And then Disney World and Disneyland took two separate journeys. There was FastPass Plus, which was introduced with the Magic Band system, which was about $1 billion venture. And then Disneyland didn't have Magic Bands, and they still don't to this day. Oh, they do, but you can't really use them. But they came out with Max Pass. I'm going to talk about Disney World system. So they had FastPass Plus, which was a system that you could book your 3 main fast passes for the day, like I want to say 6 months or 9 months in advance. It was very long in advance, and there was different tiers. I think that's what you were alluding to earlier, Wyatt, that there was different tiers. Like you could choose like the best one, right? Let's say Rise of the Resistance, if it was still around and FastPass Plus was the thing, that would be your number 1. And if you were in Hollywood Studios, your number 2 would be Star Tours, right? And then your last one would be a fast pass to Indiana Jones Stuff Spectacular. I don't know. That's a terrible example, but that shows you the tier system. So there was that system. There was a lot of planning that was involved. So after you planned 9 months in advance and you got to the park and you used those 3 fast passes, you were granted 1 more fast pass at the time. But obviously all the good ones were taken, so you got Muppet Vision. I'm not saying Muppet Vision's bad. I love Muppet Vision. I want to put that out there. But to most people, Muppet Vision is not what they want. So you get something like that. And then COVID happened. They got rid of FastPass Plus. And they introduced Genie Plus and the Lightning Lane system. So my hot take is that the Lightning Lane system is better than FastPass, even though you have to pay for Lightning Lanes.
That is kind of crazy.
The reason I think this, I think planning 9 months or 6 months in advance to ride rides that will take place 6 months or 9 months in advance from that day. Let's say I wake up on a Tuesday morning in April, right? And I have to plan for rides that I'm going to go on in January. How do you know how I'm going to feel on the Tuesday
I have
of
a rebuttal
January?
too.
I have one rebuttal to this.
Hold on. And I understand you have to pay for Lightning Lane, and that I strongly disagree with it. But it's so much more expensive. And to tie this to Disneyland, the Max Pass system, I think that was the best iteration of what we've had. Because the Max Pass system, you only paid $10 for the whole day. And it was basically the same as Lightning Lane. But Lightning Lane now, you have certain rides that are excluded. And even though you have certain rides excluded, if you were to get Genie Plus, or now it's called Lightning Lane something else, I can't even remember anymore. I'm a travel agent, I'm supposed to know these things, so if you want to book a vacation, I'll know this when you call me. But that's how I feel about it. I don't like being stressed out about 9 months in advance what rides to ride. And I love planning. That's the whole reason I started a travel agency. I love the whole process of planning. But when it comes to rides is very much a in-the-moment thing. And I want that planning to happen in the moment. Everything else, dining, hotels, other experiences, that can all happen way in advance. But rides doesn't need to happen in advance like that. So I think Lightning Lane
So you get a
is better than
podcast and you
FastPass
just
Plus.
start lying, Ethan.
All right.
You just start lying.
One phrase,
That's what you
one
start
word.
doing right there. I've been to Disney World. I've been to Disney World with you more times than anyone else has. You have never not woken up and known what ride you are going on in order for the entire day. That is a fact. You always know. I could ask you on a Monday, hey Ethan, what's our 4th ride for next Friday? And you go, oh, we're going on Toy Story Mania. You always know. You know.
But you're offered flexibility with Lightning Lane. FastPass Plus, you were not offered flexibility. The moment you had to be ready at 6 a.m. or 3 a.m. if you're on the West Coast to book that ride, and if you didn't get it within those 5 minutes,
Austin
you
and
were
I had
not
shooters
going
who
on
did
that
it for
ride.
us. See, that's our trick.
But am I not wrong about that? If you don't get that, if you
I
didn't get it
agree.
in that
Yeah.
moment, you were not going on.
But I
that
think
trip.
what Austin yelled in the mic. Yeah,
And I don't
6
think that-
months
I don't
is a
think-
but
little
I
crazy.
think Disney trips are built
I don't
on the
think that's
backbone
fair.
of intense planning.
Yeah, that's
At
what
least-
we're saying
okay.
with.
Now they are, but I think there's a good medium. It's a vacation at the end of the day,
Yeah.
and I think we would all agree some of the best memories we've had at the parks was those very off the cuff things, where we were able to get in line for this one attraction. We were able to get this lightning lane at the last minute. We were able to go see
Yeah.
the show, the last show of the day. Whatever
He's
it
pulling
is.
on my
park shut
heartstrings
down
now. I'm
because
kind of
of
with
pandemic.
him. He's making me think of all the fond memories I have.
All the fond memories.
For the listeners that don't know, we were there when the park shut down in 2020. It was
We went
a
on.
very bizarre experience. I look back on it very fondly, even though I did think the world was ending and I was probably going to die from COVID.
The cast members were handing out Mickey ice creams for free.
Yeah, it was-
They're like,
it was
take it all,
actually-
just take it.
It was
All of-
actually incredibly sad
I
the day
remember-
the parks closed because we were there for about
I
a week
remember
later.
walking
'cause
out
we
of Animal
didn't
Kingdom
have a ride
as
home.
all of like the college students were like saying bye, and they're like crying because they're so sad. Because this is like, it's yeah, it's like
because all those
it's
college
like
program
weeks,
students were getting
weeks,
sent
weeks
home,
into the program,
and
Like,
they
it was
weren't
driving
getting
me
asked to be
nuts.
come back.
That was so crazy. Austin and I went on Expedition Everest like 8 times in a row while I'm getting off.
That's
Well,
insane.
Yes, we did. Oh, yes, we did.
So Wyatt sounds like
Oh,
he
okay.
agrees with me now. Austin Brody, your thoughts?
Well, I just think that the longer time frame of the fast passes is fine. I don't like what you have to make your hotel reservation 6 months in advance. You have to make your food 6 months in advance, right? Am I wrong, travel agent, sir?
No, you're not wrong about that. But that you choose one hotel or two hotels for your trip, right? Disney World, you spend a little bit more time. You can spend 3 to 10 days, whatever it is.
Okay. Well,
But you make you make one or two decisions for the whole trip. For FastPass Plus, you had to make 3 decisions every day, and if you didn't make the 3 right decisions every day,
You're
you weren't
phrasing
going
it
to
so much
maximize
more
your
dramatically
dollar.
than it needs to be.
exactly maximizing the dollar amount. That is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
You are gonna drop the fattest bag for a vacation. You are going to Disney World. You're gonna spend so much money. You need to know if you're gonna be able to ride these rides. That's my rebuttal to this. You're gonna spend so much money. You have to know if you're gonna be able to ride these rides, and if not, cancel it. Whatever.
I have a question for
What are
Mr.
they gonna do?
Travel
Charge you a
Agent as
couple
well.
$100?
What would happen? Because I
Yes.
assume it happened to us at some point. I don't really remember. What would happen if you got there for that day and your ride for that day was broken down? Like if Rise Resistance was broken down all day, you got a free anytime fast pass for that quality ride anywhere?
Yeah, so it's similar to like the tier system. Let's say you got off of. Let me use a different example because I hate using Hollywood Studios. Let's use California
weird one,
Adventure
too.
for example. Right?
Like,
If you
you get off Grizzly River Run.
if Spider-Man breaks down, yeah, if you get off Grizzly River Run, your options
The
are probably
canoes.
going to be slim. Okay, but if you get off of Guardians of the Galaxy, you're almost going to have every ride to pick from.
Okay.
So it was the same kind of system. But no, like, let's say, like, the big one that always comes to mind for me is Flight of Passage, because that was a massive one people complained about when FastPass Plus was around. If Flight of Passage was closed the whole day, like it truly never opened, you would never get to go on it. And if you didn't have one planned for another day, if you weren't planning on going back that day, you were out of luck.
Yeah.
Well, that's a hard one to refute.
Right. Okay.
Okay,
I
well,
don't know. I don't have much insight on this because like I haven't planned like the last time I've been on a planned trip is like going with you guys. Like I haven't planned a trip since like back when the food plan was still going in Disney World, or like the meal plan. So like I haven't gone on like a planned trip, so I don't know much about
Tables
this.
of Wonderland. There's a lot of things we lost.
I forgot
due to
about
COVID,
Tables of
but
Wonderland. Oh,
But
I
yeah,
forgot about that. I remember my
I don't
mom
know, like-
asking at the end of every.
What a great
It
deal.
was just like
what,
some.
what was Table to Wonderland?
It was like, I don't know. I didn't have it. It was like a card.
It was like $200.
you got like money off, but only
It
at
was
certain
$200,
restaurants.
and you get. It was basically used it. But it was a bigger
What?
discount than you would if you had an annual pass
You just
or
only got
a
it. That's what we had.
DVC card.
When you guys had the DVC,
I don't know if I've heard of
whatever
that.
it's called, we had Tables of
Yeah.
Wonderland. Because I remember my mom always using it at restaurants.
If you were there for more than a week, it was definitely worth the $200 to get the card. Okay. We are up to... Who is this?
That's me, guys. That's me. All right. Let's go down memory lane a little bit here. I got 2 churros in my tummy. I got 1 in my hand. And I'm walking around the Magic Kingdom, okay? I'm having a good time, and then boom, I get ran over by a stroller. And I turn around, and boom, I get hit by another guy, okay?
Wow.
Things are not looking good. I need a break. I'm sweaty, I'm sticky, I'm full. I have my churro. I dropped it because you know what? I got hit 3 or 4 different times.
By a grown-ass man in a
okay?
Mickey shirt.
So guess
Kids
what?
got the bubble gum.
Yeah, and then I walk my sad, now sticky self to the bus. Now where do I go? I go to the lush greenery, soothing sound, magic animal kingdom. I go to the animal kingdom, okay? Then I go see the gorillas, okay? I go see Mufasa. I go to Pandora. I go see Harold the Yeti. I have myself a good time. A good time. You want to know why? Because Animal Kingdom, they don't force the magic on you. Magic Kingdom does, and this is a whole circle
of
thing.
life.
This is where
The circle of life, one would say?
The circle of life, one would say. Where Magic Kingdom is more magical than holy moly. Animal Kingdom is more magical than Magic Kingdom because it's all real. Everything's real. You go, it's not just a zoo. You get to go be in the wilderness. And not everything is forced down your throat.
Okay. Before anybody interrupts, I don't know if you guys knew this. Do you guys know what Animal Kingdom's slogan was when it came out?
We have
We
dragons.
have dragons.
No.
Yeah.
This
Their
isn't about the
slogan-
dragons. That's
their
all I know about
slogan
Animal
was-
Kingdom.
Not to zoo. They would say it
that's not
super
good.
fast, so it sounded ethnic.
Yeah.
Which was actually incredibly terrible at the time.
Oh God.
But they would say not to zoo, but they really meant not a zoo. So they're trying to build this experience. I just thought that was a fun fact to tell people.
I'll say
does that
something.
have
Not
to
to
do
zoo.
with-
Is this
Not to zoo.
truly a hot take? I think Animal Kingdom is by far the best
That's my
part.
point. This
Magical, fine.
I'm not saying it's the best. I'm saying it's
Whoa.
more magical.
Whoa.
I'm saying it's better to be in, not just the rides. I'm just saying it's better.
It's just nice to be in
there.
like an emptier park.
It is always
where you
so
just actually
spacious.
have like a break from stuff. It is.
Well-
it's great.
I do
in terms
too.
of magical, I love Animal Kingdom. I would say Animal Kingdom is probably my #1 park. But I
Epcot
think
is at least
is more magical.
Epcot is where magic goes to die.
That is the
What?
nothing.
Epcot.
Can you tell me one
Epcot is
magical
a
thing about
concrete
Epcot?
parking lot, dude.
Big
He
ball.
can't do it.
Canada Pavilion. You're wandering the paths and you see a waterfall. You turn around. You can't even see the rest of the park.
Stop it.
You've
You
discovered
are letting
a
your
waterfall.
love of water features determine the
Discovered.
magicalness of Epcot, and that's not fair to the other parks. Yeah.
What is this? The
Ethan,
backside
you could
of
spend,
water?
you could
It's
spend the whole day walking
waterfall.
through the Moana area, and you would say that's the best, most magical part of Disney.
Right.
I love Moana Journey of the Water. It's
He
a
gets out the Figment
fantastic
thing.
attraction.
You're just out the Figment Theater, just watching the water go back and forth.
Oh.
All right, there's a part 2 to this.
All right.
Hot take.
Whoa, whoa.
The Pandora at night is better, and I mean way better. I'd rather be there than to watch
Just to,
any castle fireworks.
That's.
100%.
I don't even know. I'm gonna let
Okay,
someone
you're
else
telling
unpack
me-
that. I don't even know where to begin.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question. All fireworks, or are you talking about all like nighttime experiences?
Most of the only
World
no,
of
just
Color.
fireworks, just fireworks,
Oh,
just
okay.
fireworks, not World of Color.
I
World of
think-
Color is the top tier, best one ever.
It has to be like mostly empty for like to really enjoy the lights at
Guys.
Pandora. It's the same as Galaxy's Edge.
Like if you go like right before it closes, where Ethan slipped and fell and hit a trash
You're
can,
comparing
then that's
a
perfect.
ground with LED lights in it and bioluminescence to a fireworks show which is on it.
Not
Like,
even in it. They just have the strips. They still have the
you
strips.
think
like,
it's more
plugged
fun to
in
walk
right behind
around
it?
that part
It
than
does
it is
not
to
have
watch the fireworks show with like the castle changing and all that stuff?
You watch the fireworks.
The
for,
sound
like,
It's
15
about
minutes.
the fireworks.
It's
It's
okay, well,
about,
I'm
it's
also-
about, it's
I'm just
about
saying,
the
like, an
moment
average fireworks
and the
show.
magic
I'm not
you
saying,
share
like-
with those around you.
Yes, the moment
Some
where
of Ethan's
everyone is
biggest
around
talks
you,
have come on
everyone has their
fireworks
stupid
mods.
phone flashlight on in your face, and then there's
You're stressing
you can't
about
see
where you're gonna
anything.
go
Yeah,
true.
you're
like
you
making
gotta
a
walk.
It is-
plan
it
to
is
get out of there
scary
when it's
leaving.
over.
Yeah, that's that's all I'm saying. It's a scary.
There's always
I
like a
think it's
scary
definitely an
time.
interesting take. I don't know if I agree with the second thing
crazy.
very much.
Well, that's my hawk take, guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
It would have to be raining in Pandora, like a sprinkle of
Dude,
rain, just to make it
Galaxy's
look
Edge
better
at
with the
night with a
reflections.
little bit of rain.
I mean, I think that'd be a fantastic episode to talk
With
about.
the rain and nobody in there.
I think that would be a fantastic episode to talk about. What lands are the best
Best night,
during
this
a
rainy night.
rainstorm? Because I've experienced
Nighttime
some, and it's been
ambience.
truly a magical experience. Yeah.
Well, mainly it's
all
the
right.
sound effects too.
Oh, sorry.
Oh my goodness.
All right.
All right, Wyatt, let's hear it.
Now, for those of you who can't tell what this is a you've
Another
also
picture.
had pictures the entire time. For those of you who can't see this, no, it's not
like
concept
another
art.
concept
For
art.
those of you who can see what this is a map of Disney's Hollywood studios. Now, I don't know how everyone here feels about Hollywood studios, or who everyone in the world feels about Hollywood studios, but I think it is the worst theme park in the continental United States of America. Stamped, period, end of question. First of all, everything, all the joy and the magic of this park went out the window when they decided to scrap all theming it had towards being a movie, behind-the-scenes movie park. What this is IP land. That's all it is. There's no theming here. This is just Disney's biggest IPs slapped down on a map in random spots, right? They never should have got rid of the Great Movie Ride. I think they should have embraced that whole behind-the-scenes movie look, right? These rides are not glimpses into the movies. These are just their rides. They're theme park rides. I think that it's just a cluster of their IPs. And not only is it a cluster of their IPs, it is also the most awfully designed theme park in my entire life. Everything is one tiny hallway leading to another. That walk from Galaxy's Edge to Toy Story is insane. That is hundreds of people crammed into this one chokehold pathway. And it's just 3 of those. It's the same thing to get in a rock and roller coaster. It's the same thing to get in Galaxy's Edge. It's the same thing to get into Toy Story Land. And not only is it a pain in the ass to get to these spots, every ride here is a massive ride with an hour-and-a-half wait. There's no fillers. You're either watching a show or you're waiting an hour and a half for a giant ride that's going to break down when you're 20 minutes out of getting on the actual ride.
Solid e-tickets. That's why we're here.
As someone who has collected so many hours on Hollywood Studios, like if I go to Disney World, it's like the only place I'm going because I just go in when it's raining and storming.
It's
like
a mess.
It is a mess. Hollywood Studios is an absolute mess because we still have Star Tours, which has like all behind the trees and stuff. It has the red wiring to look behind the scenes, and they can't get rid of Star Tours. But like they have Galaxy's Edge in the same park, which is supposed to have you immersed in Star Wars. And they still have that spot across from Star Tours, that one like restaurant place. And Indiana Jones stunt show is amazing, and it has props and stuff. But like, I don't even think you can fix it.
I think so.
I think is the real
agree.
problem.
I think because you can't
It's just
take away
a
any of that
mess.
stuff, right? Like you can't take away Galaxy's Edge, Toy Story Land. These are their.
You can
They
take
can't just,
away
like, pick up
McQueen's
Star
World
Tours.
Traveling
Movie ride
They
is
Adventures.
can't
awesome.
pick up Star
And
Tours
yeah, it
and
was a
move
little
it.
dated, but I feel like this park would have so much joy to it if it had kept that
It was
behind the
fun.
scenes movie look with like the Great Movie Ride, and you can still have your Star Wars rides and your theming. I just feel like there's no real Hollywood Studios vibe to it anymore. It doesn't feel like these are about making movies.
Well, I love the Great Movie Ride. I think it was really outdated. I like just recently watched the ride through again, and like a lot of it was super duper outdated and just like random movies that they had the rights to. But I think they do need something that embraces that side of the park a lot. You know what I mean? Especially on this right side, like you can see on the map, like there are complete like empty spots around this. But I'm glad they kind of replaced it because Mickey and Minnie's Runaway, I'm not like crazy fan. Like I love the ride, but I think they needed something new in the middle that would be like general public. But I think they need to find some spot for something like the Great Movie Ride. But it's hard because
to me,
you don't know if you're doing new movies or what.
Studios that has Disney magic or feels special is that tiny little Sunset Boulevard up to Hollywood Tower of Terror, because it feels like it always has. Like that part has never changed. It's always been the same. It's not bogged down in IPs and.
But even that part, because you turn and then you go on Aerosmith.
They're redoing that to.
You go down this whole walkway and then you go on Aerosmith.
And then it's a warehouse where Aerosmith blares and you fly through. Are they changing that to Muppets?
Yeah.
Or is it Iron Man?
No, they're changing.
Muppets?
Is it Muppets or Iron Man?
What?
Okay, Iron Man
what are you
is
talking
like.
about?
No,
isn't Iron Man like Disneyland Paris's rock and roller coaster or something?
It was
like that?
rumored.
Okay.
Yeah.
Austin, you've been on it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I didn't think they were changing Rock and Roller Coaster.
disagree
I thought that all moved to the Monsters Inc. land.
It's okay.
Where people thought it was changing. But I think the only place you're gonna find Disney magic is if you go in the theater and watch One Man's Dream.
You
know the theater with One Man's Dream? It's like when you're walking towards Toy Story Land and you go just down the steps, and you exit out at the like Star Wars.
It's right next to
the
food
it's
court.
just Walt Disney Hollywood Studios too. Besides Bronco Wraps,
like. But they have that whole Star Wars place as well.
Bronco Wraps, but dude.
But they had that one.
The potato barrels, man. Get out of here, potato
barrels.
Oh
yeah. But they had that. They have a third Star Wars area in the park. They have Star Tours. They have Galaxy's Edge, and then they have that place that's down by like where you get out of One Man's Dream. You know what I mean?
You know
that place like in the back
where 45B is? I don't know if you can see
it's like behind the Little Mermaid. Behind the Little Mermaid show.
Oh,
and you go in there, and that used to have props from the movie.
Yeah, I don't even.
Is that called Launch Bay though?
Yeah.
I thought they changed that with Docking Bay. Right. But anyway, but if you go in there, it used to have like props, all this great stuff. Pretty much everything they put in Innovations when they made it Star Wars here in Tomorrowland. And it had like really cool props and stuff. And now they just cut everything out. They stopped doing the theater shows there, which would normally be playing like behind the scenes for the new stuff when Disney bought it. And now it's just like a Darth Vader meet and greet, a Chewbacca meet and greet, and that's pretty much it. And like most of the props aren't even there anymore because they just got relocated. So they just have like these empty like stage rooms. So like I don't know, there's just 3 different spots for one theme. So that's just like one of the messy things about it. And it's like they couldn't fix that, but they need to somehow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I love that park.
Yes.
I have a question for Wyatt about this. I think objectively, there's a lot of really good rides.
I think it does have some of the best quality in rides, which I think is one of the park's biggest downfalls.
And I think in theming, there's also a lot of really good stuff in this park. Especially when you even go as deep cut as like Indiana Jones Stunt Ship Spectacular. Like that's probably the only remnant of old Hollywood studios in this park. But it does have the same ideas as Epic Universe. IP. All lands dedicated to IP. So I think your argument goes that just because there's an IP designated land doesn't mean that it's going to work. It may work for that land. But like the number one example, I can look at it right now, the very top of the map. That transition from Star Wars Land to Toy Story Land, I can be looking at a green alien and look directly into Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Directly. There's no transition. It goes from Giant's bigot or Andy's big ass feet, and I can be walking right towards Millennium Falcon. Grab myself a blue milk. So I think
that's
just
way
because
better
there's an IP
Frontier
land
and stuff.
just because there's a combination of IP lands does not mean it's good.
Isn't that what I was saying?
I think we're all speaking facts here. Yeah.
Right. I think we all
I don't think
are in
anyone really
agreement.
disagrees.
That's got tons of
Terrible.
issues.
Worst park on the continent.
Thing needs to be bulldozed, and let's change it.
And California.
Okay, well,
eventually.
there's Gatorland or whatever, but
My opinion, to continue the dogging on Hollywood Studios, no matter how much I love it,
We're on to the
is
next opinion.
I do not like Slinky Dog Dash, and it is overrated. As can be. It is just...
boo, yeah,
Dude,
boo,
That's a bad
boo.
take. You know.
Why are you booing me? I'm right. But, like, I have seen the line for Slinky Dog Dash. It's in the middle of Toy Story Land. I've seen it go out Toy Story Land. And there's nothing on that ride
There's
that
nothing on
justifies
any ride
that.
that justifies that, though.
It is literally just like a basic roller coaster.
Disagree.
Yeah, if you take out the line aspect
You ever been on a
from it,
night,
it's an
Brody? That
amazing
ride at
It's
night's
a great ride.
awesome.
But it's just statues. It's just like
I guess
still
that's
people
right.
with lights on them. Like there's
Yeah,
nothing
but-
happening.
But sometimes the
cue's
penguin at the
uninteresting.
end moves sometimes, or whoever's at the end there will move every now and then. You get a picture on the ride.
get a picture
I don't
taken
know.
on
Bro, I feel like-
sometimes.
I feel like you can't use the line to take away from the ride. You know, the two separate entities. One's the ride. One's the ride. One's the line.
Well, it's not just the line. I was just saying, like,
It is.
I
does
think
feel
it's
like too
overrated
short.
when it comes to that.
It's a short ride, but it's really good.
I also think it's. I think it's a really good ride.
I think it's also just popular because of the limit of rides.
like you're saying that like this is supposed to be Toy Story Land's
mid.
big ride, and it's like not awesome. It's all right.
I just don't think it's that
It's not
great.
bad.
Like I think it's all right, but like the line's always too long to justify going on it.
okay.
And
that's
I
valid.
just
wouldn't
just
be
don't
sad.
like the ride that much. Like I pass on it every single time on there.
Yeah, I wouldn't be sad if I didn't ride it if I go to Disney
Yeah,
World.
but
like, it's not.
I'm dropping-
like, the
I'm dropping
must
Genie
ride
Plus bucks
that, like
on it.
everyone is
Well,
waiting
you know,
on.
Shane, we were talking about Big Thunder
Stop
Mountain.
that!
Like, Big Thunder Mountain's better than this. And I understand that there's not Big Thunder Mountain in this
Big
park.
Thunder Mountain's better.
What did he say?
Dude, Big Thunder
Wait,
Mountain has
what?
way more going on than Slinky
No,
Dog Dash.
what do you know?
Than Big Thunder?
Those are, yeah, like those,
Those are
are
probably
far.
the same- polar
Animatronics.
opposites for
There's
me.
better sound design. It's a way better like medium roller coaster where you're not going full like Aerosmith with it, but
This
like
is
still
good
having a
ending
good
for
time.
us because this may be the most unpopular opinions to me of them all.
Well, there's just you're outside the entire time on Slinky Dog. Like there's nothing happening.
It's a cool.
It's
I
literally
like the,
just
I
a
like
track
the queue. I think
with
it's a
giant
fun queue.
statues.
But like,
what about
Slinky's
wait.
like.
What about what about
extending-
you
Yeah, that's cool.
reversing
See, that's
powering
creative.
up into your explosion?
I don't even like. I don't think that's even as good as like Screamin's charge up at the beginning. Screamin' California.
Those
well,
are
I guess
two
it's
different
Incredicoaster
levels.
Those
now.
are two different rides. You're not going in on Slinky Dog Dash to get the
But
same
then
amount
why
of
do a
G-forces as
charge up?
California
Because
Scream.
then you do a charge up and then it doesn't even go fast, and it does the same thing.
Look
at
how many
Aerosmith
kids are.
Coaster.
It's
Look
a
how many
kid's ride,
children are in
Brody.
that
This is
concept.
for
Then
the
I
children.
I
Every
don't
character
like
is
the
counted.
kids ride.
There's no 20-year-old man like us or 20 in their mid-20s. We're all in our
Right.
mid-20s. Not one is in the
I
concept
don't
art.
know. When I was a kid, I liked Incredicoaster. Like I was already above this, but like I don't know. Thunder Mountain is like, well, that's why I'm arguing Thunder Mountain, like, because it would be on the same. Like I don't think it's that crazy of a roller coaster where a kid would be freaked out on it. But I think it's more enjoyable stuff
I think
to like
Slinky Dog
actually
Dash
look
is
at when
much
you're
more
on
of
the
a
ride.
thrill ride than Big Thunder Mountain is. Really, I feel like
Disagree. It's kind of the same to me.
But it
about the
doesn't
same.
have the climb up. It doesn't have the tunnels. It doesn't have anything.
It
doesn't have the water shooting up.
I have a
Disdain.
disdain for Big Thunder Mountain. I do think Big Thunder Mountain may be slightly more thrilling.
I also
than
like Slinky Dog more.
It's-
Slinky Dog is just
I like
it's
Slinky
cool.
Dog more.
The vibes are cool. The sound's cool. I don't know. I like it a lot. I think it's cool. The vibes are there.
The vibes are there. The vibes are definitely there.
I will agree with Brody though. That is
yeah.
the one of the
Once
worst.
you actually
queues.
once you're
I
actually
think you can
inside,
get
it's
it.
kind of cool. But that's very short
Yeah.
compared to the giant line in the dead sunlight
Yeah.
of just standing and waiting.
But it's not the worst Toy Story line in the domestic parks because
Which
Toy
one's
Story
that?
Midway Mania
Is that Disney
has got
World?
the worst one.
in Disney World or Disneyland?
No, in California Adventure.
Oh, gotcha.
And Disneyland's is awful. Disney World's is like you can still.
You've got
it's
theming.
good enough. Yeah.
The
I know, I
best
didn't know if you were
theming
talking
you've
about
got
how
for
it's got
Midway
two different
Mania
sides
in
now.
California Adventure
Yeah,
is fans. That's the
Disneyland
best
is just
theming you
a
got.
line.
No, I didn't. Disneyland's is just back and forth, or like not even that. It's like a whole zigzag of lines, because the line's always too long.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about you guys, but this discussion, even though we've been bagging on Disney World a lot, it's made me think about a lot of the good times we've had, and it makes me want to plan a trip to Disney World ASAP. If you guys got anything else, we'll be back with another episode. Not sure what it's going to be. This is very much a free-flowing podcast. We've got some ideas we're thinking about, but nothing set in stone. So if you got any ideas, we'd love to hear your thoughts. But that's going to wrap it up, our very first ride on the e-ticket talk. Thanks so much for joining us. If you had fun hanging out, debating, or shouting at your speaker in disagreement, make sure to follow or subscribe wherever you're listening. And hey, a 5-star review would go a long way in helping other Disney fans discover the show. We're in the midst of rapid expansion of effortless expeditions and entertainment. We've got many exciting episodes coming your way on this show, the Sacred Rewatch. So whether you're a theme park pro or planning your first trip, we're here to make your journey a little bit more magical. Thanks for riding along. We'll see you real soon, and hopefully somewhere between Rope Drop and the fireworks. See you guys.